everybody. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but please feel free to call me SRP. It's nice to see you. Today I wanted to make a list with Grand Inquisitor Yellow, and it's based off of the deck that top forward in a PQ recently here. And recently, the date of this recording is October 2nd, so most likely this will come out on the 3rd. But there was a couple of cards that were spoiled in the new set that I think could make a big impact on this deck. So I wanted to give it a shot, and in testing it's been pretty good so far. So I figured we could just jump in and take a look. So first off, what do we get with Grand Inquisitor? Let's take a look at him. He's going to be a 6 deploy, and he's got one of the coolest actions I think in the game personally, where you can exhaust him, deal 2 damage to a friendly unit with 3 or less power, and ready it. So this will let you get in multiple attacks with one unit. The caveat being, obviously it's going to take 2 damage, and GI is going to stand them up, let you attack with them, and go from there. So we want to focus primarily on units that are going to have 3 or less power. Sorry about that. So Eddie's going to flip here. He's going to turn into a 3/6, and then we can attack with him from there. Now, a couple of the new cards that we put in, we'll go over. I guess we'll go over everything from the start and just take it from there. So I just want to check one other thing on the wording. Deal 2 damage to a friendly unit with 3 or less power and ready. Okay. So this is also going to hit all of our 3 power things here. Sorry, it's the morning as I'm recording this. I haven't had my coffee. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, let's start off at the top. We'll just work our way down the list. First off, DL44. Hotshot DL44 Blaster. I think this is a classic in anything that runs cunning. +2/+0, and we get the attack. So this is similar to a surprise strike, where we just get in and it lets us attack right away. So it's action cheating. I'm sure everybody knows this one if you've played the game. It's definitely a staple. One of the other cards in here, the next one, the Aurra, I really love this unit, and I don't think it's seeing enough play. It's just really fantastic. I would like to see more play. So I'm hopeful on that one. It's terrific. 2 cost, 1/4 with hidden, which means it can't be attacked by your opponent's units the turn it's deployed, so it gets to live unless there's an event that can defeat it or some other ability potentially from there. And it has read 2, so it can attack as 3. So we can attack with our Aurra, get in our 3 damage because of the raid 2. Use Grand Inquisitor, flip, activate it, and we'll ready the Aurra. So I don't have a lot of experience with this card, but the Strikeship is a good fit for this because it's a 2 cost 0/3 with raid 3 and overwhelm. So yes, it doesn't have any damage built into it, but it does have the raid 3, so when we attack we get the virtual damage on it. It's kind of what I like to call it. So it fits the candidacy pretty well on this. Being able to attack with it twice with the Inquisitor is pretty fantastic. And that kind of ties into our next unit with the TIE Bomber. And this kind of attacks on a different angle. So 2 cost 0/4 and deals 3 indirect damage. So I really like this because we're most likely going to get damage on our opponent's units with this, because why would they want to deal damage to their base if they don't need to, unless they really, really value their units. So I think having this in there is a nice choice. It helps kind of clear the way a little bit. But being able to attack with it twice and do the 6 indirect is also really cool, because that really makes for those extra hard decisions. The X34, right? Yeah, X34 Landspeeder is another good one because I like that it's got ambush. Most likely you're not going to be able to use the Inquisitor's ability on this unless you choose not to do the ambush on there, because if logically, if we think this through, we play this, we ambush with it, we're going to defeat something that has 2 hit points or less, but it's going to deal some number of damage back. And even if that's 1, when we activate the Inquisitor, it's going to just defeat it. And while we're zoomed in here, well, let's take a look at the Zygerrian Starhopper. 2 cost 2/3 in space. When defeated, you get to deal 2 indirect damage to a player. So similar attack, or angle, I should say, to the TIE Bomber. It's a good space unit. It's early, and I really like the indirect with the Grand Inquisitor plan. It's pretty fantastic. Next up, we've got No Good to Me Dead. For those that don't know this one, it's a classic from set 1. 2 cost and cunning villainy, and we get to exhaust a unit, and it doesn't ready on its next phase. Let's see the wording on that specific. You can't ready this round. Okay, so we get to exhaust something, and it stays exhausted in the next round as well too, because it cannot ready, which is always fantastic. Clears the way of any problematic unit that might be on the ground or in space or whatever. It just gets rid of something. And one of our new additions here, we'll come in closer on it, is the Academy Disciplinarian. Now this is kind of a Grand Inquisitor activation when it's played, so we're really getting the effect now. So when we can play this, we can kind of double up on the Grand Inquisitor effect. And I'll just rate it before we get in too deeply here. It's 3 cost, it's a 3/4, so the stats are pretty decent. I wouldn't say fantastic, but they're not terrible, they're just medium. But when played, you may deal 1 damage to a friendly unit with 2 or less power and ready it. So at first that may not seem so great, but if we take a look here, we've got Aurra, we've got our Strikeship, we've got the TIE Bomber, we've got the X-34, we've got Zygerrian, we've got Lurking TIE Phantom, and we've got the Nihil Marauder. So it can definitely get things to stand back up, readied. That's what I mean by stand up, and ready to attack. So this is a common from set 6, and it's just a little mini activation of Grand Inquisitor where we can get an extra attack in with something, and then we could even potentially use the Grand Inquisitor on this, ready that, and attack again as well. So a whole bunch of different neat combat tricks with this. Next up, we've got the Disabling Fang Fighter. Again, set 1 classic, 3 cost, 3/2 in space, and when played, you may defeat an upgrade. Pretty simple, but it's effective. There's lots of troublesome upgrades that are out there. Could be a shield, could be experience, could be a Darksaber, could be a lot of things. Some people are running Entrenched. You could knock that off as well, but it's a good space unit, and for the cost, it's pretty fantastic. Staying zoomed in because the next 2 cards from now is another new card, so I just want to give everybody a good look. The next card in order is Grand Inquisitor Unit from set 5, and 3 cost, 3/4, hidden, raid 1. Other friendly Inquisitors gain hidden. Yeah, I would just say that's flavor text most of the time, because I don't. Yeah, there's no other Inquisitors. Sorry Inquisitors. We love you, but yeah, not in this deck. Which is fine. It's what it is here, but 3 cost hidden. Raid 1 is nice, so it attacks for 4. Grand Inquisitor leader can use his ability on Grand Inquisitor unit. Pretty cool. So you get an extra attack, that's for 4. Now, one of the other nuance, and again, this is a common, but I think it fits pretty well with this deck and this archetype in general. The Hunting Assassin Droid. 3 cost, aggression, villainy, 3/4. While an enemy unit is damaged, this unit gains raid 2. Okay, so let's think about this with this deck. Why is that good? Not only are we doing ambush, we've got units that have the indirect damage on there. We can always run one of our units in to another unit and damage it as well if we need to. It's just very effective. and this is almost always going to have the Raid 2. And for the cost, I think it's pretty good. Again, 3 for a 3-4 is not particularly great, but if we now get the Raid 2 on this, we're now at a 5-4 when we attack, and we can ready it again with the Inquisitor's ability. So, in testing, this is done very well. It's almost always guaranteed to have the Raid 2 on there, because enemy units are going to get damaged just by playing the game. That's over the course of it. Even, if our opponent attacks into one of our units, same thing's going to happen here. And Lurking TIE Phantom is the next card. We've got 2 copies of that. And 3 cost, Raid 2 space unit. This is so troublesome for control decks specifically to get around. This unit can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy abilities. A fantastic card. Very classic. We've got our 3rd one on the sideboard as well, too. So it's just very troublesome because especially for control decks, because they're relying on their events to defeat things. That's not going to work on that ship. So very good thing to know here. Now, I don't really play with Nihil Marauder often, so I want to zoom in here because I don't think a lot of people know this. Nihil Marauder is 3 cost, cutting Villainy 1/3 with Raid 3. So it's got a lot of hit points. It costs 3. It meets all the requirements here for our Academy Disciplinarian and also for the Grand Inquisitor leader itself. So we could play this, we could ready it, can attack for 4, or if we wait and just ready it naturally, we can attack for 4, then ready it again, attack for 4 again. And then one of the neat tricks is, if we do that, let's say we play this on turn 2. Gets readied, we attack with it for 4, we use Grand Inquisitor, we attack for 4, then we play the Academy Disciplinarian. It's going to have 2 damage, so now we'll add a 3rd to it, and we'll attack for another 4, and that's going to be 12 damage potentially, and that is going to be on turn 3. So that's pretty cool. It's something to work with at the very least, and I could really see that getting out of hand quickly, where somebody's going to need to deal with that. I could even see that bumping up to 3 with this particular version, but it's awesome. Open Fire, another classic. It's an event, and it deals 4 damage to a unit for 3. So, good way to clear out pesky blockers or sentinels, I guess if you want to call them, and just kind of clear the way for our ground units. Outmaneuver is another one that I don't think sees enough play, but it's really good. And I think with these, where we have decks that are very space focused or very ground focused, and they don't have a lot in the other, this kind of is a middle ground where it can take care of something in one specific arena. And the text just simply says on here, choose an arena, exhaust each unit in that arena. Pretty simple, but it can be very effective. It may get, if we're all in space or we're all on the ground, this could clear the way. Most likely this is going to be more units on the ground, but this deck has a good mix of units here between space and ground. Whaley is another classic that I absolutely love. 3 costs, and it allows us to return a unit to its owner's hand. It clears something that's a problem out of the way. It's fantastic. So just an auto include, I think, especially in a deck like this, is really fantastic. Now, Dengar is another one I have not really played a lot with, but it's done some pretty good work for me. Dengar, the pilot version of Dengar, 4 cost, 5/4. It also has piloting, so we can play this for 2, and it gives the ship that it's piloting +1/+2. Attached unit gains on attack, deal 2 indirect damage to a player. If this unit is Underworld, which we do have in this list, deal 3 indirect damage instead. So we're really kind of playing on that indirect access quite a bit here. I shouldn't say quite a bit. We have enough of it where there's a presence, and it's very effective. If you play this deck, you'll see the indirect damage really, really does a lot of work, and especially for what we're trying to do. And at the very least, if our opponent is going to be assigning damage to their ground units or their space units or what have you, that makes it easier to do a trade with something that we've got as well if we need to. Rush Clovis is another one that we don't really see a lot, but again, this one fits pretty perfectly in here. 4 cost, 3/5. So again, the stats aren't particularly terrific. They're, I'd say, medium. We normally want a 3 cost for 3/5. That would be ideal world here. But this one's got Raid 2, and on attack, if the defending player controls no ready resources, create a battle droid. So it's just giving us a little extra board presence, and we can attack with this twice. So we could potentially get 2 battle droids out of this, which is kind of cool. I really like it quite a bit. We'll stay zoomed in here. And second to last, our penultimate card in the main deck here, Scimitar. And this one's a beast. It's really good, and the 3 of absolutely is the right call for this. It can finish games very quickly. So what are we getting here for Scimitar? 4 costs just in villainy. It's 3/4 in space, and while this unit is damaged, it gets +3/+0. It's just fantastic. It's attacking for 6. So ideally, you want to play it, ready it up right away, then attack for 6, and then on your next turn, you're going to ready it and go from there. Very, very good. It really swings the game quite a bit in gameplay, and it's one of the MVPs for sure in this deck because it gets really out of hand. And lastly, in the main deck, we've got Darth Vader, which is a 6 cost 7/7, and it has piloting for 3. And if you pilot this on a unit, it gets +3/+3, and attached unit gains on attack. You may deal 1 damage to a unit. If a unit is defeated this way, you may deal 1 damage to a unit or base. So note here, it doesn't say enemy unit. So we could, if we wanted to, we could put the Vader as a pilot on Scimitar, attack with it, it's going to deal the damage to it and give it a the +3/+0. It's just a potential line, but it's another good way to finish off units that are just lingering around that have 1 hit point left. Vader will just take them out, and that's that. You get to get the extra ping. Now this list originally was running Jeddah City. I don't care for it as much. I can understand why, but for full transparency, I switched it to the 30 hit point base. So if you want to try the Jeddah City, by all means, feel free to do so. I don't like having the 5 less HP. It's about an equal trade. With Jeddah City, you can make a unit get -4, -0. So what we're really trading here is 5 hit points to make it so we can protect one of our units, which makes a lot of sense with this list because we're going to be dealing damage to our units anyway. So by all means, if you want to run the Jeddah City, please feel free to do so. It's worth running. I wasn't comfortable enough with going down 5 hit points for that effect, but like I said, feel free to do so if you'd really like to. Sideboard, I did change this sideboard up just a little bit. It had Bazine in the main deck. I moved it to the side. So Bazine is primarily against control, 2 costs, and when played, you get to look at an opponent's hand, and you can discard one of those cards. If you do, your opponent gets to draw a card. So you can get rid of a problematic card, and then your opponent's going to get another card for it. But we know for a fact we're going to get rid of the problematic card itself. We've got 2 copies of Cartel Spacer, and when it's played, if we control another cunning unit, we get to exhaust an enemy unit that costs 4 or less. I was just zooming in because I forgot if it was 3 or 4, and I couldn't really see it. So, Force Choke, another classic piece of removal. 2 cost, it's going to deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit. And if we control a force unit, it reduces the cost by 1, which I think is just silly if you can do that. 1 cost for 5 damage, pretty great. Your opponent will get to draw a card. It is what it is, but it's very efficient removal. Grenade Strike is pretty perfect for this deck. It's dealing 2 damage to a unit, and then you may deal 1 damage to another unit in the same arena. We've got our 3rd disabling Fang fighter, and our last copy of the Lurking TIE Phantom in the sideboard as well. But this one is definitely a blast to play. It's pretty fantastic. I really recommend it. So I'm going to have the links for it. I'm going to have the deck list. I know some people have said that the links sometimes don't work, so I like to include a full list of it. That way you can import it into like SWUDB and play it from there. But yeah, this one is really aggressive. I really like the multiple angles here. We've got regular damage, we've got the indirect damage, we've got readying, we've got multiple ways to ready now. I think this comment itself really kind of helped push the deck in a meaningful way. So I can't recommend it enough. Before we get out of here, I just want to ask if you could please subscribe. I'm still new to the Star Wars Unlimited content scene, and I could really use subscriptions. It would greatly help me quite a bit. I'm around 42 as filming this here, but if you could please subscribe, definitely would help it. Likes are great as well too. And yeah, that's everything that I wanted to address here. But I do want to thank everybody for their support. Everybody's been great. Comments have been awesome. People that have messaged me separately have given me really good advice, and I really appreciate the encouragement very much. Just wanted to say thanks for that, and may the Force be with you, my friends. I hope that you all have a great day. Be well.